My dear students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to your online class. I am Dr. Sibila Firdausi, Associate Professor, Department of Physiology. In our previous lectures, we learned about the ovarian cycle, which had two phases. One was the follicular phase and another one was the luteal phase. In between these two phases, ovulation took place, where there was the rupture of the Graafian follicle and discharge of the ovum in the abdominal cavity. So, after discharging the ovum in the abdominal cavity, the remaining granulosa and theca cells are converted into corpus luteum. So, today our topic of discussion is about this corpus luteum. By definition, we can say that when the Graafian follicle ruptures, corpus luteum develops on the remnant of the ruptured follicle. During the first few hours after ovulation, under the influence of the luteinizing hormone, the granulosa and theca cells are converted into lutein cells. These cells become yellowish in color and there is lipid deposition, and the total mass of cells are together called the corpus luteum. These cells are programmed to go through a sequence of events like proliferation, then enlargement, secretion of hormones, and ultimately degeneration. So, the corpus luteum can be divided into two types depending on whether or not fertilization has taken place or not. If there is no fertilization, then this corpus luteum persists for only 12 days and it is known as the corpus luteum of menstruation. And if there is fertilization, then this corpus luteum persists for 12 weeks, which is known as the corpus luteum of pregnancy or true corpus luteum. Now let us see about the corpus luteum of menstruation. So when the corpus luteum, when the Graafian follicle discharges the ovum, the wall of the corpus luteum collapses and immediately it is filled with blood. So for that brief period, this structure is known as corpus hemorrhagicum. Then luteinization occurs under the influence of the luteinizing hormone. Corpus luteum becomes yellowish in color with lipid deposition. This corpus luteum secretes hormones, progesterone, estrogen, and inhibin. So it is a temporary endocrine gland. And this progesterone is responsible for the secretory phase of the menstrual cycle. And as there is no fertilization, after 12 days the corpus luteum involutes. But if there is fertilization, then this corpus luteum is known as the true corpus luteum or corpus luteum of pregnancy. So, and it persists for about 12 weeks, which means about 3 to 4 months of pregnancy until placenta is formed. And it acts as a temporary endocrine gland secreting the important hormone that is necessary for pregnancy, which is progesterone. So, what keeps this corpus luteum persist? This corpus luteum is prevented from involution by the human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, and this hormone is coming from the tropoblastic cells. So this part is very important for you to remember, that corpus luteum of pregnancy persists for 12 weeks and it is prevented from involution by the human chorionic gonadotropin hormone. And then you will be asked where this hormone is coming from. This hormone is coming from the tropoblastic cells. So this after the placenta is formed, then the corpus luteum degenerates after the So when the placenta is formed, then the corpus luteum degenerates after the third or fourth month. It again involutes, and in this diagram you can see that in the first trimester the important hormones that are necessary for pregnancy, that is progesterone and estrogen, is coming from the corpus luteum of pregnancy, which is situated in the ovary. And so in the first trimester, progesterone is given by the corpus luteum, and progesterone is very important because it maintains the pregnancy. It causes the decidual changes in the uterine endometrium, which gives nutrition to the developing embryo, and it also relaxes the uterus, which means it prevents uterine contractions and prevents abortion. So in the first trimester, the corpus luteum is the main gland that is providing all these hormones to establish and maintain pregnancy. And then gradually, as placenta is formed, placenta takes over the function of corpus luteum, and placenta begins to secrete large quantities of the progesterone and estrogen. So corpus luteum then involutes. So the function of corpus luteum, if we want to say that it is a temporary endocrine gland that secretes hormones like progesterone, estrogen, inhibins, and corpus luteum of menstruation secretes progesterone, and this progesterone is responsible for the secretory phase of the menstrual cycle. Corpus luteum of pregnancy secretes progesterone, which is responsible for maintaining the thickness of the endometrium, responsible for the formation of decidual cells, and it has a relaxing effect on the uterus, which prevents abortion. So after 12 days, the corpus luteum of menstruation involutes. After 12 weeks, the corpus luteum of pregnancy involutes. And what is the fate of these corpus luteums? After degeneration, the corpus luteum appears as a white fibrous tissue, which is known as corpus albicans. And gradually over time, it atrophies and is replaced by connective tissue, and ultimately it is present as a scar tissue and known as corpus fibrosum. So if we look at a cross section of an ovary, we will see that there are scars on the surface of the ovary, which are actually our atrophied corpus luteum. And so when the process of corpus luteum involutes, this is known as luteolysis. So I hope I could give you a clear idea about this corpus luteum. And corpus luteum is important as it is important for establishing and maintaining pregnancy if there is fertilization. So this is all for today. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.